Oh, I didn't see you there. It's time for one of the most highly anticipated movie of the year. After the unnecessary and unwanted sequel to Cars, which even makes the die-hard Pixar fan wince, Pixar need to reclaim their rightful place as the Studio Ghibli of the West, and the movie to launch them back into the spot is none other than Brave. Set in medieval Scotland, the story follows the story of Princess Merida, who, after defying an old age tradition, made a deal with a witch so that she would be free to choose her own destiny. However, this seriously backfired, and she must race against time and undo her mistake and save her kingdom. So did this movie launch Pixar back onto the top of the animation food chain? Yes! And no. You see, even though this movie surpassed Cars 2 in terms of quality, it was still not up to par with other Pixar classics. I mean, this wasn't Up, this wasn't Wall-E, this wasn't Ratatouille. The stories seem lacking compared to those. Now don't get me wrong, this movie was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. However, I need to be fair and say that this movie is flawed. So what was the pros and cons of this movie? Let us not waste any time and go straight into Brave. Now a little bit of warning. Due to the fact that I need to analyze this film, major plot point will be spoiled. So if you have not seen the film, turn this video off right now and go watch something else. Preferably my other video. But if you've seen the film, stick around and see if you agree with me. So let's start this off on a positive note. What did I like about the film? Let's start off with the visual, which is the film's strongest point. Everything in this film was breathtakingly beautiful. Every rocks and trees and creatures are vivid and gorgeous. The camera's angles and camera works are also top-notch. Brave is a testament to Pixar's superb art direction and attention to detail. The uses of real Scottish actors and actresses is also praiseworthy. By doing so, Pixar add more authenticity and believability to their film. Instead of using voice actor to imitate Scottish accent, Scottish people are voiced by Scots, making the interaction between each character natural and not forced. The relationship between Princess Merida and Queen Eleanor, her mother, was also very interesting. You see, Princess Merida is a hot-headed, rebellious teenager, while Queen Eleanor is a strict, by-the-book and traditional parent. It's basically the same old kids versus parents story. But what makes this plot point stand out in the case of Brave is that they took a smarter spin on this. You see, in my case, when I watch this kind of movie with this kind of plot point, they usually side with the kid or the teenagers, with the parent taking the role of a redeemable villain, who in the end gives in to what the teenager or their kid wants. Oh, I'm sorry, except. With the main message being that the parents should let their kid free. Now Brave took a similar plot direction, however it did not take side. You see, the movie both condemn and support the kid and the parent at the same time. There were times that I support Princess Merida, wanting her to be able to choose her own destiny. Other times I want to smack her upside the head for being such an irresponsible brat. And although we see Queen Eleanor dictating every aspect of Merida's life, molding the princess into her own image, the film shows that she did it out of the love for her daughter. We also see the anguish in her eyes when she hurts Merida's feeling. Now all of this accumulate to the point that neither sides win, and that both sides need to come to a compromise. Now I find this to be a very fresh and realistic take on this old plot. Now the comedy in the film was also very enjoyable, taking a more slapstick route than the other Pixar film. However, it wasn't done to a shocking point. There was enough slapstick to satisfy the children, but not too much to deter older audience. And my god, was the music great! The entire orchestration have a touch of Celtic music in it. It's a perfect match for the film. The music enhanced the atmosphere, it enhanced the story, it enhanced the character. Now there are singing in this film. No, the character don't sing. But there are times when Celtic lullabies showed up. And it fits the mood of that scene perfectly. If you want to know what good orchestration is, Brave is the answer. Now we get to the negative side of the film. You see, despite having fantastic direction, production and orchestration, the film one major flaws is the fact that the plot was very weak. I mean, it is one of the most rudimentary basic plot in a fairy tale. Granted, it wasn't bad. See, if I see this kind of plot coming from a DreamWorks or Sony studio, I wouldn't mind that much because it's DreamWorks and Sony. But this is Pixar we are talking here. This is the studio that gave us Up, Wall-E, Ratatouille and Toy Story 3. We expected better than this. What happened here is wasted potential. You see, instead of tapping into the unique and rich Scottish culture and mythology, Pixar decided to just skim the surface of it. Sure, this movie is set in Scotland. We get the haggis joke, we get the kilt joke, we get the drunken joke, but it never actually went beyond the stereotype. What we got instead was a story that looked like it came out of a direct-to-DVD movie. So this is basically what happened in Brave. Princess Merida doesn't like being told what to do by her queen mom, so she basically ran away, find a witch, and asked the witch to give her the power to decide her own destiny. So the witch gave her like this muffin cake thing. I don't know if anybody who's Scottish and watching this, please correct me. So she got this cupcake, gave it to her mom because the witch told her to do so. She took a bite out of it and she turned into a bear. Yeah, I am not kidding here. Her mom turned into a bear. And comedy ensued as they both run away from the castle and they gotta learn how to coexist with each other as they race against time to fix the curse before it became permanent, with her mom being a bear. Dude, I just saw Timothy Treadwell Grizzly Man, okay? I'm not really fond of bears. That actually reminded me of something. Right, there was a movie made by Disney like this called Brother Bear. Granted, I never saw the film, so I'm not gonna make any comparison to it. However, I want to complain that this is the most basic children's story. See, it's this crap way to turn one of the main characters into an animal for the sake of comedy. It basically pandered too much to children. Sure, this is a cartoon, but that's not the excuse here. If Up can make an adult cry with their deep and emotional plot, why can't Brave be the same? It's a big step down for Pixar and making Brave a little bit of an underwhelming experience. And man, I love Pixar. As I said, they're the Studio Ghibli of the West. And you know what? I have a solution. I can pretty much moan and bitch about the plot all I want, but that wouldn't really serve anything. So I'm presenting to you what I would like to call Brave, the tea soup get cut. This is my version of Brave that I think would work better than the whole mom turn into a bear thing. Constructive criticism for the win. So here's my version of Brave. So basically the first half can stay because I don't see anything wrong with that. Nice scenery, nice character introduction. Yeah, I like it. What basically needs to change is pretty much right after Merida got into a fight with her mom. So here's my take on it. So Merida ran away and find the witch. And yeah, another thing. Don't turn the witch into a comic relief, make her menacing. Something along the line of Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty or Lady Eboshi from Princess Mononoke. So basically Merida went and asked the same thing, I need to be free to decide my own destiny. But instead of giving Merida a cake to give to her mom, the witch instead gave her a potion and tell her to let the kings of the kingdom drink it and she will be free to decide her own fate. As it turned out, the potion is fucking poison. And when the 4 kings, including her own father, drink the damn thing, they all got sick, and everybody blamed one another for trying to assassinate one another. And so the 4th Scottish kingdom descend into chaos. Oh shit, the kings are sick! They're gonna die! Who the fuck did it? Prepare the army while I wipe those sons of bitches off the earth! To war! So yes, Merida little action instigates civil war. You see, the witch interpretation of Merida being free to decide her own destiny it's basically that everything she know or care about will need to die. Thus, she will be alone and be able to decide what to do with her own life without anybody telling her what to do. So after Merida realized she fucked up royally, she decided to fix things. However, along the way, her mother found out what she did, they got into an argument, and the both of them decided to go and fix it. However, the witch had disappeared. So instead, they found the help in the form of a fairy. Something from the Celtic mythology, you guys can fill this in. So in order to save the kingdoms of Scotland, they must find an antidote to the poison. And they have only 7 days to do it. So Princess Merida and Queen Eleanor must travel the land and find the antidote before it's too late. Now both of them can have enough screen time because the two have effectively become the main point of the story. And her mom is still human. And through trial and error, they finally found a potion. Both of them will be able to flesh out their characters, develop their skills, show what they can do, and they can learn from one another. Merida can take a more brutal Kratos God of War style approach, killing and maiming everything in her way to get what she wants, while Queen Eleanor take a more subtle and more diplomatic approach. It could be a contrast and clash of style, which will create more dynamic to both of them. It can be a scene where Merida must fight through an army of monsters, I guess, or the queen can use her diplomatic skill to negotiate with a neighboring foreign kingdom. The closest is pretty much Ireland, which would be pretty interesting. And now that they found the antidote to the poison, they came back just in the nick of time before the four Scottish army clashed with one another. However, the witch returned, and Princess Merida and Queen Eleanor must defeat her in a climatic battle, with both of them fighting the witch and using the skill they learned from one another, effectively defeating the witch together. Now they can pull off something emotional like an up, and they can show the queen supposedly dying in this scene to create more dramatic tension and Princess Merida going apeshit insane and defeat the witch eventually. But it turned out she's alive as Merida is sobbing over the body of her own mom and she rises from the dead, whatever. And all was right in the kingdom of Scotland and happy ending ensue. Yes! But after credit scene, it turns out the witch is alive and she's not working by herself. Someone ordered her to stir things up in Scotland. Now this could either be the English or the Vikings, because they are planning to conquer Scotland. You know, fuck that shit! The two culprit is the Mongolian Golden Horde and the Japanese samurai bent on conquering Scotland. Then in the sequel we can see Merida going head to head with a Mongolian horse archer or the Japanese Yabusume. Oh, and by the way, doing this you effectively have a trilogy on your hand. Now before I move on, I actually want to discuss something that kind of irks me during the film. This doesn't necessarily make the film bad, but there's this one thing that's really turned my head. It's the scene where the suitor came in to win Merida's hand in marriage because her mom arranged everything. And they start showing off their son's skills and stuff. Now one of them said that his son managed to destroy 10 ships of the Northern invaders. Now I think of Viking when I hear the term Northern invaders. And then another one of them said that his son defeated an entire legion of Roman soldiers. Okay, I know it's a fantasy. They got will-o'-the-wisps, they got giant bear, they got spirit, they got human turning into bears. I know, but there's such a thing as consistency. You don't randomly throw historical names and places into each other and just don't expect people to not notice. That's why I make the Japanese and Mongol joke, because basically you already got Viking and Romans in the same time period. Why not have the fucking samurai and the Mongolian Golden Horde charging in through Europe at this time? But that's just me. It doesn't really make the film bad. It's just something that pretty much turned my head. Okay, let's sum this up. Brave is a great film. I really like this film. It's enjoyable to watch. It's fun. It's funny. It's smart. It's beautiful. The music is perfect. But you really need a stronger plot. It doesn't work. It is not something we expect from Pixar. You can do better. We know you can do better. That's the only thing I have against this movie is that the story is childish. It doesn't suit the name of Pixar. DreamWorks, Sony, yeah, go for it. But this is Pixar and you are capable of something more extraordinary than this. However, the execution was flawless, and despite the plot holding back the whole movie, it was still pretty enjoyable to watch. And ladies and gentlemen, that is Brave. Pixar latest animation. It's not going to be in the UK until August. I don't think it's going to be in Thailand until like November. So go see it when it comes out. It deserves our support. It's Pixar, for God's sake. It's fun to watch despite its flaw. I'm the Thai Terror, and until next time, สวัสดีครับ